We're talking about home sweet home, Om
Om
Shanti
Shanti.
Home. Yeah,
Yeah.
and
And it's
a
a
great
great
topic that
topic
we're
that we're
talking
talking
about.
about.
Peace.
Peace.
The
The
theme of the
theme of the
month
month
is
is
pieces
pieces
into
into
peace,
peace.
and
And
uh,
uh,
Om
Om
Shanti
Shanti
Home
Home
is
is
not
not
just
just
peace on
peace
the
on the
inside.
inside.
It's
It's
and not
and
just
not
peace
just
on the
peace on the
outside.
outside.
It's
It's
how it
how it
works
works
in
in
harmony, how
harmony,
it
how
works
it works
together.
together.
When we
When we
realize and
realize and
recognize
recognize
peace
peace
with our
with
own
our own
self,
self,
well, that's
well,
what we
that's what
get
we
to
get to
experience
experience
everywhere.
everywhere.
And the
And
more
the
we
more
can
we
do
can do
that,
that,
the
the
more
more
that
that
we share
we
and
share and
others
others
experience that,
experience
it
that, it
increases
increases
the
the
peace.
peace.
Hmm.
Mm.
So, would you
So, would
like
you
to
like to
comment
comment
on that?
on that?
Yes, absolutely. Peace. Peace is a word, and I have to pause, when we talk about peace, because peace is definitely a word that it begins with us, and we are peace expressed, whether we are experiencing it in the moment or not. And so peace
Yes.
simply is. And so as it begins with us, as we recognize that we are this expression of peace, then it reverberates out into how we show up in the world, whether it's our conversations, our relationships, whether it is prosperity, however we are showing up in the world is going to show up as peace. Likewise, the opposite is also true.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So recognizing that it begins with us is key. It's key. Right.
All right.
All right.
Well, let's
Well, let's
start
start
with a
with a
quote.
quote.
And let me
Let
bring
me
it up.
bring it up.
So, this
So
is
this is
by
by
Ernest
Ernest
Holmes,
Holmes,
and he's
and he's
talking
talking
about this
about the
philosophy.
philosophy.
And as
And
we
as we
do this,
do this,
um,
um,
remind you.
remind me.
Yes, I'll go ahead and read this. You find me 1,000 people in the world who know what religious science is and use it and live it as it is, and I'll myself live to see a new world, a new heaven, and a new earth here.
Thank you. And
Thank
I
you. And I
relate that
relate
to
that to
peace
peace
in
in
that
that
as we're
as we're
using
using
this
the
spiritual
spiritual
philosophy,
philosophy,
that means
that
we're
means we're
living it,
living,
and
Mhm.
that
and that
each
each
one of
one of
us
us
will
will
see what
see
we
what we
consider
consider
a new
a new
earth.
earth.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Yes. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I like about this quote, and what I like about our topic today is, and you just shared a little bit about it, as we're living it, right? And the key word to me, and I've always said this, and you might have heard me say this before, the key word in Center for Spiritual Living is living.
Mm-hmm.
How are we living it and how are we practicing it? And then also, as we're talking about peace, that can mean different things to different people. So what does peace mean to each of us? And I believe that peace, as we're talking about a new heaven, a new peace right here and right now, it may change from day to day, from moment to moment, what peace means. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on that?
Well, yeah,
Well, yeah,
absolutely.
absolutely.
It's this life
This
that
life
we
that we
live
live
is very
is very
subjective.
subjective.
Hmm.
It's
It's
basically
basically
based
based
on
on
our
our
experience, our
experience, our
interpretation
interpretation
of those
of those
experiences.
experiences.
Uh,
Uh,
Unfortunately,
Unfortunately,
that
that
includes
includes
judgment,
judgment,
Hmm.
and
and
therefore,
therefore,
what
what
peace might
peace
mean to
might mean to
one
one
might mean
might mean
something
something
different
different
to
to
someone
someone
else.
else.
Yes.
And
And
as
as
we
we
do
do
carefully do
carefully
our
do our
spiritual
spiritual
work,
work,
meaning
meaning
to get
get
a
a
clear
clear
idea, a
idea,
clear
clear
vision
vision
of what
of what
life
life
looks like with the best possible understanding of peace. That is where we begin to meet in that higher realm and contribute to peace looking like that for each and every one. So I think that it just doesn't happen based on what has been happening before. We have people who might think peace is just leave me alone, and to somebody else it's like I like to be in peace around a lot of people, and we are exercising peace, meaning people have their needs met, which is essential. So we can have peace in the soul. If I'm not hungry, I have a roof over my head when necessary. And, because, again, it's going to possibly look different for different people. However, when we achieve it, it's the same feeling. So that's what I get from it.
Yes, one thing that from your sharing and from the quote that we just shared is that peace is the experience of peace is intentional. It is something, it's essential and it is intentional. When we do our work, our inner work, and we practice, and it is something that we are seeking or something we are living. And as we build our spiritual practice, then it becomes more of a way of life. Yeah, that peace that we're seeking.
Well, there's a quote from the Maharishi Mahesh Yogi. I get it right. And here's a quote. Please read that quote.
Just as there cannot be a green forest without green trees, there cannot be a peaceful world without peaceful individuals. Yes. Maharaji Mahesh Yogi.
All right. And what does that reflect for you?
What does that reflect to me?
Yes.
What it reflects to me is that if I am, as I am being peace, as I am living peaceful, as I am being that and experiencing that and choosing it, then I am going to see peace wherever I'm looking. I'm going to see the peace that exists elsewhere. However, if I am in moments of distraction, or if I am in moments of conflict, or any of the different moments, it could be moments of sorrow or whatever it is, that I may see more of that as I am looking in the world. So I can see, he said, we cannot be a green forest without green trees. Right? So we cannot be peace without expressing peace and without living peace. Yeah. And we can't see it either.
Yeah. That sounds like more than just a lesson. It sounds like serious homework.
Indeed, life work.
Yes, indeed. Thank you. So the old saying is, if we want to see peace, we have to be peace.
Yes.
All right. Thank you. Get rid of that one. So what we're also talking about is when it comes to community, when it comes to creating a world that we want to see, it's got to be an open conversation. We've got to use the word and show how it works in our lives. We can't just speak it, we have to be it. And because it's energy. and people pick up on energy. So the word is a powerful word. However, we've got to show how it works in our everyday life. And I know people always want to. And if we say we're about peace, you know what's going to happen. We're going to have opportunities to prove it.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's really is our choice to show that it's a good word, great word, and it works. And it's challenging, mainly because it is work. We have to work. We can't take it for granted.
Mm-hmm.
And even as I'm speaking, I'm thinking about where there are conflicts going on around the world. And specifically, I'm thinking about Russia and the Ukraine. It's not in the news. I didn't hear anything about a ceasefire. So I'm taking it for granted that there's peace.
Mm-hmm.
However, I just because we don't hear about anything happening in Israel, the Gaza Strip, that doesn't mean that people have a consciousness of peace.
Right.
And I think that's the important thing, is that the proof of peace is not the absence of war. It's how people relate together in community. I've talked to Israeli people, not necessarily Hasidic Jews, and they said they grow up there and they live with people who are Arab descent, they're Muslim, and they get along. There's no strife. They're just going about their day-to-day life. However, with the politicians and the armed forces don't seem to get along. and the people who suffer are the ones at the ends of the ground.
Mm-hmm.
But those people just want to be in peace. The little kids, they don't have the ideology.
Mm-hmm.
They're not like, I can't play with you because my parents don't, or my politicians don't like each other. I don't care. Yeah.
Right.
So I think it's a consciousness that children have of peace on this is just life. They don't really have to work at it. But as soon as they become adults, or I should say adulthood, then they have to work at creating.
Mm-hmm. Hmm. Yes, because they're being peace.
Yeah.
We speak about the conflicts that are occurring in the world on many different levels, whether it is war, whether it is politics, or whether it is in our relationships. We can just go inward and we can look outward. And so the peace exists internally and externally, right? Or it doesn't exist internally and externally. So we look at those conflicts, and they just show up in so many different ways. It's so important to recognize that our work that we do. You were speaking earlier that it takes work. The work that we do, for me, taking that inward glance and going within, and doing our spiritual practices, and on days when there is inner conflict, be able to, okay, what is my spiritual practice? What is my practice that I'm going to do so that I can take a breath, breathe, recognize that I'm living, that I'm here, and be peace, and recognize that. And then as the other things that come in that look unlike peace, that may look like outer conflict or external, then I can look at it and hold peace for whatever that conflict is. Right? So then I can, once I've done my internal work, then I can do my external work, and I can pray and hold peace. So once I am settled, right, and experiencing not only peace, but love, compassion, empathy, all of those things come into form. And so I'm going to read this quote. When you are proclaiming peace with your lips, as I just did, be careful to have it even more fully in your heart. And so it begins with us. It begins with us. Even and especially on those days when we may not even, not only we're not experiencing peace, but we cannot even fathom how we can or where it can come from. Those are the days that we need, we're invited to take a moment, take a sacred pause, and go within and connect. And oftentimes it is those times when we connect with our community, our spiritual family, our Sangha, right? So I'll leave it there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you, because I find that I don't even have to speak peace if I'm carrying it in my heart, in my consciousness.
Yes.
I'm just being it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure our the folks who are watching, when you see somebody who's at peace. I don't mean sitting there chanting Om, just in their normal everyday activity. We can see it in their appearance that they look pretty peaceful, and there's nothing we have to actually do. It's just a state of being, carrying it in our heart. So thank you so much for speaking to that. Now, there is a quote that you touched on that I want to bring up, because you mentioned about in the breath and Om, and this explanation in this quote is going to just bring it all together. And about what you mentioned, and if you would read that.
Okay. Om Shanti Om means peace in body or peace in mind. In Sanskrit, it is an ancient Vedic mantra used in meditation and yoga to promote peace and their interconnectedness of the spirit, mind, and body. In Sanskrit, when combined, the vowels A and U become O, which translates to the sound or This sound or mantra originates from Hindu and Buddhist teachings and guides the soul through a meditative state. The vocal sound of encompasses the world's energy.
Yeah, thank you for that.
You're welcome.
So if we think peace in body, peace in mind, that goes a long way. If you imagine having people sit together to avert war or stop war, it's got to be in their mind. It's got to be in their body. What I really want to happen for us, not just for me or not just for you. So it's the sound of Om encompassing the world's energy, peace in the mind and peace in the body for the whole world. And it's amazing that some people believe that human nature is to conduct warfare, and it doesn't have to be. It's just learned behavior. Unfortunately, that people have learned strife and conflict, and not a peaceful way to resolve anything like that. I don't see animal world amassing armies to fight each other. They don't live like.
Yes.
So another thing is, and this is for I could say for everybody. Consider what can you do to practice peace on a regular basis, whether it's community or individually. And that can go for you as well.
He said, what can I do
to practice
peace? There's so many different ways. So as we were speaking about beginning inward, beginning my day, beginning my day in peace, beginning my day in stillness, beginning by setting an intention to experience peace and to be peace. And then as I am connecting with other people, right? As I'm connecting in community with other people, knowing that community connection, that love, that peace that we're experiencing in conversation. I think conversation is one of the most powerful ways to express peace. That it is between two people or a group of people. However, when that conversation is over, that peace that we felt and that we shared just reverberates outwards into our days, into our individual communities, and it just goes forward. So to experience peace, it begins at first within, in the stillness, and then it's shared in every single thing that I do or how I show up. I just show up as peace. That's one of the ways to do it, and share it with other people.
And what becomes more powerful, and I would say in the beginning, challenging, is to do it within a community, whether it's in person or online. That creating a community that practices peaceful activities. There's a suggestion from Deepak Chopra to pray as peace. It says when people of peace get together, they magnify their consciousness. And so he starts off by saying, determine a regular day and time every week, one day, to come together to pray as peace, which is revealing the truth of peace, that peace is already here. And so you focus your intention on turning into the peace within. And this is what people are doing together. And at that point, consciously seeing that peace spread around the world. And how do you do that? Well, you can hold an image of the world, the planet. Or you can look at a map of the world or a globe. And you can focus your attention and just imagine all the people everywhere on that map. And feel peace in everyone's heart. Because we know that peace is in everyone. Not everyone taps into it, but we know it's there. You can even hold your hands out to that image, sending light, love, and peace to everyone everywhere. And you can just do whatever ritual feels good, holding your hands out and just knowing that that energy, that conscious use of is indeed touching everyone, whether they know it or not.
Indeed.
And then you close that ritual by bringing your hands to your heart, filling yourself with that activated intention of peace for yourself and accepting it and feeling it deeply. And even if you're doing that now, and you're feeling the slightest bit of something, that's the connection. And there are people who will feel it, have no idea what they would do, and they don't need to. The fact is that we get to feel the peace, and
Yes.
that grows. Yeah. So, have another quote that I'd like to bring up. Just give me a moment.
Silence is a language of Om. We need silence to be able to reach our true self. Both internal and external silence is important to feel the presence of supreme love. And this is Amit Ray, Indian author. And this is what I was speaking of earlier, to be able to begin with that silence, internal and external. Yes.
And it's important. And it doesn't specifically mention meditation. However, being in the silence, it creates a sense of peace within ourselves and remove ourselves from the busyness of activity of the day. Even though it's a great practice to see the activity of the day as a peaceful practice. It may not look like, oh, peace. But as we're going about who we are and what we're doing in a positive, uplifting, supportive way, even if I'm looking at a bus driver driving their bus, they have are in touch with that supreme love in being who they are and doing what they're doing. And that is peace. When we're not being who we're supposed to be, and we're not enjoying our lives, we're not expressing the peace that is already with it. So the language of peace in the mind, peace in the body.
Yes.
It's like some people are like, let me alone, let me do my job. They want to be at peace with who they are and what they do.
You know, when we are being peace, our day can be a part of that divine flow. It can be, instead of us doing our day, we're being our day. In other words, creating that flow and being present. And to me, this is a important part of experiencing peace, being present. And so as I am with you right now, I am being present. As my husband and I, we go and wash our cars later today, we are simply washing our cars, not washing our cars and thinking about tomorrow and doing other things, but being present. And that is an important part of peace, is mindfulness and being right where we are and experiencing life in the moment. So we can create a peaceful day and be in the flow.
And it's important to have that mindset.
Yes.
It's not we got to go wash the car.
hey, it's a practice.
Yeah,
You know, it's a meditation, being right there. Yeah, it's a mindset.
yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Did we cover this one already?
Peace
Oh,
is not
see.
merely a distant goal that we seek, but a means by which we arrive at that goal. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And we can experience peace in any moment.
And
And
I like that because it's not a destination.
right.
It's again, it speaks to peace already within. And wherever we're going, we carry that peace.
Yes. And Rodney, I do want to share that yes, while peace is, and I may have mentioned this earlier, but while peace is within us and we can tap into it, I do not want to discount any other emotions or feelings that may be coming forth that people may be experiencing, right? Because in order to feel the depth of peace, we've also have felt sorrow, right? In order to, feel the joy, there may be sadness. And so there, all of these things exist, right? And this is what spiritual practice is all about, right? Being able to feel the things that are upon us and that we need to feel in the moment to experience life and do our inner work and take another step and reach out in community and um, do these practices. And so I just want to be clear with our listeners that to have grace upon ourselves, because if we are not experiencing peace in this moment, right, that is okay as well, because there are many people experiencing many things in life, right? And yes, we can tap into peace, right? And yes, we can have a wonderful day that is flowing with peace, right? And at the same time, there may also be tears that same day. And we can take a moment, take a breath, take a pause, and go within. And especially as someone is holding us in prayer and in peace, and we can begin to take another step. And so this is also true for those places in the world where people are experiencing war and conflict, right? They may not be experiencing peace in that moment, but yet peace, they are seeking that peace that will come. And so I just want to be clear that we're not saying that, yes, that while peace is within us, and yes, this is what we are seeking, and this is what we are, and we can live as peace, right? That there are other experiences that exist, right? That we move towards that which is in us, expressed as peace. So,
Thank you. And that is so true. We're not saying peace is all there is.
yes.
And if you're not feeling peace, then, there's some judgment behind it. No. Peace is always within us, regardless of what else we go through. Even though some of those things might seem to rise to the forefront and overshadow the peace. And those things, thank God, like as you mentioned, are temporary. Peace is eternal. I didn't make it up. However, it is there when we overcome those other temporary feelings, situations. We find the peace is always there.
Yes.
So thank you for bringing that up.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah. So what's next is to affirm the peace in the mind and peace in the body. So we got some affirmations. And so right now, we're going to move into the affirmations. Just give me a moment to set that up. And I'm going to request that you do them all.
You said that I do them all?
Yes.
Okay.
So as we usually do, we ask or invite each one to take a breath. I would like to, before we do that, just include a Kiko statement.
Yes. Acceptance, not resistance of emotions, leads to peace for me. Thank you. And thank you for sharing,
Yeah.
Akiko. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you,
Yes.
Akiko. I love that. How powerful that is that we get
Yes,
to
indeed.
practice acceptance,
Mm-hmm. Yes.
especially when times. Yeah, go ahead.
Um, Speaking to Akiko's comment and adding to what I was sharing earlier,
Mhm.
spiritual bypass, right, is for me it is not something that supports experiencing what may be coming forth and stepping into peace and understanding. So when we spiritually bypass things, we're totally avoiding and going straight to all is well, right? Going straight to this is not going on. This is not I'm not experiencing this. And so I appreciate that acceptance, not resistance of emotion leads to peace. Yes.
Right. And
Just had to get that in there.
thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Because what we resist persists.
Persists. Yes.
So we could
Yes.
try to cover it over
Mm-hmm.
and think that it doesn't, it's gone. It's going to keep showing up. And we're not going to really have peace within. So thank you, Akiko and Marie. So it's affirmation time. So just invite each one to take a breath before each affirmation.
All right. So I invite you to join me in taking a breath, a deep cleansing breath. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti Om. Peace, peace, peace.
And
Take
do
another
each one
breath.
twice.
Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti Om. Peace, peace, peace. Take another breath and let that out. Breathe it in. It is so that Om is where my heart is. It is so that Om is where my heart is. Breathing in, breathing out. It is so that peace is always at the center of my soul. It is so that peace is always at the center of my soul.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So at this time, we have a brief spiritual mind treat. And Marie, if you don't mind, if you would sum up that our conversation with a spiritual mind treat.
Yes. So I invite you to join me again in a breath, in a deep cleansing breath. And as we breathe in, we recognize that this one breath is the one life and the one expression of the divine, breathing in as and through us. And this breath today, this life today, this expression today, known as God, is expressing as peace. It is expressing as love. It is expressing as simply the inner peace that supports each of us as we know peace for the world. As we express peace in our life, as we express peace in each and every area of our life. And so as we look at our life through the lens of peace, we see peace around the world. We see peace within. We express it. We know it to be so. We simply embrace it, uplifting and dissolving anything unlike this experience of life expressed as peace. We simply allow it to be. We release it to the divine alchemy of love and law. And so it is. And you are on. So One Love's Center has prayer professionals ready, willing, and able to remind you that spirit is full of power, charged and already within you for your immediate use. And so your request for prayer support can be sent by email to revrod17@gmail.com or call 844-295-5155. All prayer requests are kept in the strictest confidence.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. Well, we still having it. Thank you so much for talking about the power of prayer with that, and also with that wonderful prayer. And if anybody needs more in-depth time with a prayer request, please feel free to contact us, and we will make that available to you. Also, what's available is the opportunity to give. Reverend Marie, I'm going to ask for your help again.
Okay. We're grateful for your donations to One Love via PayPal at onelovecenter.org or Cash App, I think it is, One Love CSL. And so please, at this time, I invite you to go within and to be able to share it. Our affirmation of abundance is money as one of the many gifts of spirit is good. As I share my offerings, I know that I am actively creating space to receive more gifts, more money, and more good. I am grateful for the ability to give and for the good works these gifts do in our center and in our world. And now it is.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So, very quickly, we just have a very short announcement. One Love Center is. Oh, go ahead.
No,
Please.
go ahead. You want me to read it? Okay. One Love Center is requesting a member for technical assistance in managing the broadcast. Please contact One Love Center through revrod17@gmail.com or 844-295-5155 to be of service. Bless you and thank you. Move into Living Beyond Your Limiting Belief by registering for the class Beyond Limits at www.onelovecenter.org/events.
Thank you. We're looking for that class to happen in October. So contact us and let us know. We'll look for more details. Okay. So thank you so very much, everyone. We're going to have a closing prayer and a closing song. Reverend Marie, any closing remarks?
Let there be peace. And let it begin with you. Let it begin within. Yes.
That's right.
That's right.
And just
And
think
just
that
think that
all over the
all over the
world
world
on this
on this
day,
day,
so
so
many
many
churches and
churches and
centers
centers
are doing
are
the
doing the
peace.
peace.
Let there be
Let there be
peace on
peace
earth,
on earth,
and let it
and let it
begin with
begin
you.
with you.
However, we
However,
have
we have
another song
another
we're going to
song we're going
close
to
with. But
close with.
first,
First,
closing prayer.
closing prayer.
And just
And just
knowing,
knowing,
well, I
well,
first
I first
invite you
invite you
to join
to
us in that
join us in
high
that high
holy place
holy place
that has been
that has been
established.
established.
Knowing there's
Knowing
only
there's
one
only
power,
one
one
power,
presence, one life.
one life.
And we
And
call it
we
the
call it the
peace
peace
and the
and the
love
love
and the
and the
joy
joy
and
and
all of the
all of
other
the other
awesome
awesome
qualities
qualities
that
that
reside
reside
within
within
these
these
places
places
within.
within.
They are
They are
all
all
part of our
part of our
wholeness,
wholeness,
and
and
especially.
especially.
So I am
So
knowing
I
for
am
each
knowing
and
for
every
each and
one.
every one.
Yeah, peace
What
is the
peace is the
order,
order,
and I
and
pass
I
my word.
pass my word.
And so, in this recognition that peace is the order, we simply know and embrace that it is present and with us right here and right now. Right here and right now, in this present moment of awareness. And so, I simply allow it to be, knowing that we start right where we are. We start right where we are. We celebrate life, we celebrate love, we celebrate peace. And we simply allow it to be. And so it is.
And so it
So
is,
it is,
and now it
and
is.
now it is.
Right on.
Right on.